Then, okay. So today we are going to talk about how open source contributions give wings to your career. In this presentation, I'm going to explain benefits of open source contribution and how it can help software developers' career. At the end of this, we'll have a live demo to help you start open source contributions. This is about me. My name is Vipin. I'm working as a senior software developer. I have 12 plus years of experience with Java. I run a website, jfeatures.com, where I help developers to learn language features so they can work on best Java projects. After this session, you will understand why open source contributions are important for your career, and you will be able to start open source contributions journey effectively. So the first question, what is most common problem for professional software developers career? So think about it. The problem is, how do we find best jobs? Because best jobs are not easily available on job portals. For that, we need to get connected to best developers in the world, and that we can do through open source projects, and that's how we come to know about best jobs. Now we'll talk about open source contribution benefits. The first and important benefit is we learn with best developers in the world. Open source contributions is an opportunity to work with best developers in the world. You work with a lot of developers around the world, and every company kind of, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, lot of companies, right? And it's not only you work in the same company and then you can work with guys in that. So you can work with anyone in open source contribution. And you learn when you code, right? And when you code with them, with best developers in the world, they make sure you code right, and for that they provide you feedback, and this process improves you as a developer, right? So typically an old project, if you look at any project we are working with, that revolves around the same pattern of coding. All the problems are solved in a similar way. So that's where you, when you join a new project, you learn new patterns, you learn new ways to solve problems, and that's where open source projects are also helping. You learn new things, you learn new patterns to solve problems. You work with a lot of developers who have different ways to solve the problems, right? And in open source projects, you learn from developers who have zero experience and who are like 20 years, 20, 30 of experience, right? And you learn design skills, you learn right design patterns, you learn clean code practices. Even there are a lot of open source projects I know who have their own style guides so that your code is readable and bug free. So this is an important benefit. You learn with best developers in the world. Now we'll talk about the next benefit. This is also an important benefit, very important, I would say, working with large size teams. You learn to collaborate and code with large size team, having developers all around the world, different time zones. All discussions are over email, Jira, Slack, etc. So you are not working, like you are not sitting with them in person. You are not working in person with them. So all the discussions are over email, right? And this is an important skill. So other than technical skill, when somebody wants to hire you, this is also one more skill, because there are a lot of companies who have their teams around the world, all around the world, right? So this is an important skill people look for, employers look for. The next benefit is improved unit tests. With larger teams, you have to learn how important your unit test cases are, because unit test case is the way to make sure what you coded is right, right? And then when you are working in open source projects, in some of the open source projects, we have thousands of developers, right? So it's not like one person sitting there and reviewing everybody's code, right? So to make sure everything is right, you need to write a good unit test. If there's anything missing in your unit test or there is something you can improve, then people give you suggestions, and that's where you learn. And the same thing you can utilize anywhere. Once you learn something, that's with you, that stays forever, and you can use in your projects as well. The next benefit is your code quality is visible. So employers can go and see your code quality on open source projects. They can go to GitHub, they can go to any other project, and they see, okay, this is your code quality. They can look at, okay, yeah, this guy has design skills, what kind of design skills they have. So isn't it better than the resume? Definitely it is. And in this last and important benefit I'll talk about is get your dream job. When you work on some open source project for significant duration, you become expert in that particular area. And when somebody wants to hire the company, let's say you are working with Netty, an open source project, right? You are contributing in Netty, and when Netty wants to hire somebody, do you think they can find a better developer than you? No, you are the best developer, right? Because that you know about that project, you know architecture of that project. So when if they are going to hire somebody new, then that person is going to learn that is going to take time. He will understand the architecture. It's similar to like whenever we join a new team, it takes time to start contribution. But when you have already some expertise in that area, you can start contributing from day one. Okay, so this is one benefit. Also, not only you can get job in the same open source project in the same company, right? But there are open, like right now every company is using, almost every company is using open source project. To name few, like Netty, Elasticsearch, Spring, right? Even Java itself is an open source project, right? So everybody is using open source project. You can see now when you work in open source project, you have subject matter expertise in that area. So if you need to implement that, if you need to use that library, that open source library in your project, right? And you know about internals of that library, you are the best person to implement that. So that's where it is very important skill, and that helps you to get your dream job. Okay, I'll check if there's any question so far. Okay, okay. I think double click to maximize the window, it doesn't work, but it's okay, I think. Okay, now we'll go through a demo to help you start with open source contributions. Demo, I'll share my screen. Let me start sharing my IntelliJ workspace. And please message me if there's something you cannot see, if something is not visible. Maybe my font is not right. I hope you can see it now. Okay. So the project I have opened right now, this is a OpenJDK project. So why I'm starting with this is because this is in Java. This is for Java developers. This is one of the biggest open source project. Thousands of developer it has, right? The process of contribution is also not straightforward. I would not say difficult, but not straightforward. There are few things you need to understand. So we'll try to contribute something here, right? We'll try to find out the problem, some problem. So for that, I would take Java.base module. And just to give an overview, this is JDK 15 branch. Okay. So I am going to run an inspection, IntelliJ inspection. I'll run Java doc related inspection. I'll run Java declaration has Java has Java doc problems. Okay. I'll try to find some real problems. Okay. I think it's going to take some time. Okay, just give one warning. Okay, like it will take a minute while I'll see my screen. question. Well, this inspection is taking time. It will take few more seconds. Can you see my screen? Can somebody confirm? Is this better, or I can just go to IntelliJ screen? Okay, thanks. I'll increase the font size. Yeah. Okay, so I'll increase the font size while I'm showing you code. Okay, and for that, this inspection is still taking some time. It will take few more seconds. I'm just running one inspection, so it will be fast. Meanwhile, I would suggest, tell me if there's any question you have, anything blocking you, stopping you to start contribution in open source project, anything you want to know about open source project. Okay, so you can think about that. You can message me. I'll try to answer that. Okay, or definitely we are going to take questions at the end. Okay, so now you can see we have 480 warnings in an OpenJDK project, right? And one thing I want to tell you about this open source project, OpenJDK specifically, like setting up this workspace is also, you need to read some instructions and then you need to set up this workspace. So for that, you can go to my site, jfeatures.com. There's a blog post I have for this, OpenJDK contributions. Okay, and that helps you to set up this workspace. You can set up this workspace and you can start doing fixes in OpenJDK project. Okay, what is easiest way to start contributing? Just find a project in GitHub and look at. So easiest way, I would say, first step is you need to find a project. So think about a project, okay, you want to contribute on. Think about something which can help in your career, which can help in your work, like you are using, if you are using, like for my case, I'm using Java. So I started contributing in Java. Okay. If you are using Netty, if you are using Spring, if you are using Elasticsearch, think about that, right? If you are using Kubernetes, right? Think about that. Okay, yes, you are using that. If you contribute in that, you will get a lot of knowledge, right? You will understand, you will be able to understand internals of that project, right? So that's going to help you. That's going to help in your project as well. That's going to help you at your work as well, right? So that's kind of a motivating factor. The first thing I would say. So the first thing is find a project, okay, and mm, I hope that's yeah, sure, okay. So I think this is complete. Now we can take a look at this. So we have 998 warnings, okay, and I'll expand this, okay, and I know there is a class I have already selected. Right. Now we'll look at the code. Okay. Can you see this? What is problem in this? Can you try to identify what is problem here? I'll just give you some time to think about it. What is problem? It says wrong tag. So what is wrong about this? Okay, I'll help you with here. Okay, so it's just nothing, it's just, it's not visible. So if you look at the param, it is not param, it has extra or. Okay, so IntelliJ is telling me add param to a custom tag, but it is not a custom tag. I know it is a mistake. So to fix this, I need to remove or. Now this problem is fixed. Okay, so we did a fix. And this is a public method, so this is important one. Okay, so this is how we fix param. Okay, questions, wrong spelling. That's right. Yeah. So it's very easy. So just overall, what I wanted to show you is starting open source contribution is easy. It's not difficult. And to make it easy, start with something related to documentation, something related to test cases, and that's where you start understanding project, that's where you start understanding architecture of project, that's where you start understanding process, how do you fix something, how do you send a patch, and then how do you start your contribution journey. Okay, so start with something related to documentation. So this is one example. Okay, we can take another example. We close these things. We can take another example. Let's say one more inspection. Java doc has problems in Java doc reference, right? Okay, this inspection should take a few seconds. Okay, while it is taking some time, I'll come here and let's talk. So, okay, I'm glad I helped you. Thanks for your feedback, Braga. Now, now while this inspection is in progress, we can start something about like how do you start contribution. So I'm starting contribution with OpenJDK. Okay, so I'm helping you to understand how do I find a problem, right? And the IntelliJ is helping me there, right? So this is like easiest way to find a problem, right? You can run an inspection. What I'm doing here is I'm running a particular inspection. But if you need to run, if you want to see all the problems in a project, you can definitely go to analyze, inspect code, and you can inspect everything. Okay, whole project selected, and then you can click on OK. But that's going to take too much time. Okay, I'll not run it now. Okay, so this is an example of open source OpenJDK project, but you can take any project from GitHub which you like, right? To like, for example, Netty, Elasticsearch, and some other examples also you can get. You can go to my site gitjfeatures.com. There's an ebook, free ebook available. You can download that, and that has some inputs like some project names. I think yes, that is given there. Okay, so in some of the projects, I would say most of the open source projects, you see issue list, right? Some are available in GitHub. Okay, some have their Jira. So in GitHub, you see some labels as well. They have like help needed, beginners problem, right? So you can choose issues on basis of that, right? On basis of those labels, and that's where you get your first issue. And when you start with first issue, then you slowly try to understand. You get to understand. Okay, yes, this is the project. These are the things in the project. This is the architecture of project, and these are the problems in the project, right? And this is something else also I can fix. So I would say, no, find a project, get a beginner issue, and start doing that. Okay, and uh, and if you get stuck anywhere, feel free to ask questions, right? People help you. People are helping you, ready to help you, right? Because it's something you are helping them. It's not going to benefit you only, right? You are helping them, so everybody is going to benefit in this way. Okay, so feel free to ask questions. Don't keep it to yourself. Okay, because this is one of the common problem I have seen. People say, "Oh, I don't know how to proceed," and they stop doing that. Okay, Take a look at if inspection is complete. Inspection is not complete. It's going to take, I think, 2 more seconds. So I can explain you why this was inspection, another inspection related to Java doc reference. Okay, now it is complete. I'll expand this, then I'll search a class. I know there is a problem, the common problem I'm trying to search, the local class, right? This is a class local. I'll open this. Okay, now I'll increase the font. Can you find out problem here? What is problem? I'll give you some time to think about it. What do you think is wrong here? Right? It also IntelliJ is also telling us cannot resolve symbol bundle. Right? You look at this right hand side param bundle. Then it says the resource bundle to use. Right? So no answers. Okay, I'll try to help you there. So if you look at IntelliJ, it says remove param bundle because it's not needed, right? Now let's say why it is not needed. Let's look at its parameters. If you look at its parameter, it says in locale. It's not resource bundle. It is locale, right? So we should fix this problem. To fix this, I'll make it locale. Now I think this is fixed. It says in locale the locale to use to get the display names. Also because I'm fixing some language, so I should look at this method what actually it does. Is it really doing this thing? Is it really going to use the locale to get display names? So we can take a look at the method. Okay, let me show you this method all at once. Okay, so this is in locale, then you have a string tokenizer, then you have names. You got the names from tokenizer, and then here you are in for loop, and then you call get display name, and then you're using locale, right? So basically in display string you're using locale, right? So this language is correct. The in locale, the locale to use to get display names, right? This is what we are doing here. So this is correct, and this is what we fixed. So this is the second problem we fixed, right? In this way, if you look at this project, if you look at our to collapse all, if you look at collapse part, 462 such problems, right? So maybe there are some problems which are like which you may not be aware. Okay, if this is really a problem or I should be fixing it or not, or maybe some confusion. But if you look at the two examples I have shown you, those were like you don't need to have uh, expertise in the project, right? You can clearly see this is a problem, right? In character iterator field delegate, you can clearly see this param was like it was wrong, spell was wrong. Okay, now okay, now let's take a look at another inspection. Okay, another inspection related to code can be replaced with at the rate code, right? So I'm showing you this because I know there are a lot of places this is a problem, and I want to fix that. Okay, while this inspection is on, I can go to the screen and check if there's any question you have. Okay, no questions. Good. I hope you are able to follow. If there is anything not able to follow, anything I can explain you better, please feel free to ping me. Okay. So I'll just try to show you some things. Like one thing is, I generally don't go into internal projects, okay? Because these are some of the internal classes comes from some upstream. These are not these does not originally belong to OpenJDK, right? It should be fixed somewhere else. And how do I know this? Because I tried to fix something, I sent a patch, and then people helped me to understand, oh, don't fix it here. It should, if you want to fix it at some other place. They give me links. So what I should be doing here is I'll try to find a package which we know, right? Let it complete. Maybe jar jdk.net, right? I'm trying to see something in java.io, java.lang, right? Let it finish. Okay, here we are, java.io. So if you take a look at this, because these are the classes, right? We see every day, right? So we can take a look at file right now. In all the problems, right? If all the problems I'm selecting here, let me increase the font. All the problems I'm selecting here is like, you are using these classes. Java is the project every Java developer is using, right? So if you look at here, it gives me clear instructions. IntelliJ is very good in that. Replace this with @ code, right? So this code is a HTML type of syntax, right? You have a code and then you close the code here. So now we are going to replace it with @ right? We fix this problem. Okay, we can take a look at something else. This code again does one more occurrence, and I can again click on replace with code, and that is fixed, right? So similarly, you see java.io, this inspection is complete. Java.io has 17 such problems. Java.lang has 9 such problems. All these are warnings, right? So it's easy. Even the math class, it has the same problem. Now let me come back to the screen. And I think so what I want, this is all what I wanted to show you, like how do you start with a contribution and how easy it is. You saw we tried to fix few of the things online right now, okay? And this is one of the difficult to set up project, difficult to start working with, right? So if you take a look at a lot of other projects on GitHub, right? They have very clear instructions, very easy to set up. So it's not hard as well. Okay. Now these are some slides having those problems. Now we'll start with question and answer. So what is it, what is stopping you to start on open source contributions? Is there anything I can help you? I'll try to share my screen. Okay. Yeah. So this is time for questions. Feel free to ping anything. If you're maybe you're a student, you want to understand what kind of projects you can contribute. Maybe you are an experienced developer, Java developer, C developer, C++ developer, and maybe you are trying to find a project, you don't know how to find it, right? Any kind of questions are welcome. Feel free to ask question. Hey, hello, hello, Ronaldo. So while you're writing your questions, I can give you an example. Like last time, I was talking to some student, and then student had a query like, okay, what kind of contribution I can start with, right? So I know there are a lot of students I know. If you can search over Google as well, who's students who can start contributing in Linux kernel. Okay, so I'll talk about that, but before that, I'd like to take the question: how could I choose a simple project to contribute as a beginner in Java? So as a beginner in Java, I would say think about what are you doing in Java, right? What kind of library are you using, right? And is there uh, is there any library you want to understand more, or you want to understand in detail, right? In depth, you want to go, right? So don't think when you are starting, when you are a beginner, don't think about, okay, I see a problem in this library and I want to fix it, right? So, so to start with, to make it easy, think about it. Uh, uh, think about a small thing. Think about a small thing you can contribute, like documentation or test, right? So don't think about a feature. Okay, yes, this IDE, maybe Eclipse is missing some features IntelliJ has, and I can go and fix that. Definitely, you can do that, but start with something small so that you can be successful, and you can be successful in that, and then you can start contributing in features as well. So next follow-up question is Java web backend grade DOS test to begin with. Yeah, yeah, that's right. So if you are especially interested in, yes, backend, yes, definitely, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, next question is, I'm thinking to contribute towards Spring Framework. Any advice from your side? Personally, I don't know about Spring, how people start contribution in Spring particularly, but I think for that you need to take a look at Google. How do you start contribution? But one thing I would tell you, right? This is one of the one of the biggest framework in Java, right? Where people are using this, right? So, there are a lot of frameworks like ORM frameworks, we see Hibernate and all, but Spring is one of the biggest frameworks. It has a lot of features. Even if when I'm particularly, like, if I take my example, if I'm starting a new project, I always use Spring, right? If I'm not using a Spring Web, I don't use Spring Web, but at least I use Spring JDBC. At least I use dependency injection features, right? So Spring is great project to start with. That's right. Sometimes we can't find issues to contribute already solved, or someone solving those. What to do then? Hmm, Sometimes you can't find issues to contribute. So for that, I would say go visit the project website. Like some project, if there is some project on GitHub, right? Go to that project and look at the beginner issue. When you are starting, look at the beginner issue. Okay, click on the beginner label. Then you see, okay, these are the 10 issues or 100 issues you got in beginner label, right? Then you can take a look at what is the recent one. Maybe something created yesterday, maybe something created a week back or month back, and then you go to that issue and take a look at comments. Is there anyone working? Is it assigned to anyone? Is anyone working? If somebody is working, you can see comments as well. Generally people say, okay, yes, I'm taking this, can I take this? Those kind of questions you see. If you don't see anything, then feel free to pose the question. Ask, is there anything I can help? Can I start working on something? So in this way, there's no confusion like, oh, somebody is already working. So most of the projects I see, people ask question and then people start working on that, right? I hope it answers your question. Okay, so if that answers your question, so I was talking about project for students, like people, a lot of people I have seen start working on Linux kernel. People start contributing in Linux kernel, right? Because people, students have good knowledge in C. They learn C in college, computer science students, right? And there are some good, very good initiatives in Linux kernel. Like I know the Linux Foundation, they have a program, they have a course for beginners where they help you to understand the process. They help you to understand, okay, how do you how's their releases are managed, how much time takes for a release cycle, and then who's owning what, and how do you send a patch, right? So for that, they have given a course. That course is, I don't remember exactly, maybe it takes, I think, 2 months, and every week you can contribute 2 3 hours. But that's an amazing course, I would say, that helps you to learn everything you need to start contribution in Linux kernel. And Linux kernel is, biggest project, biggest open source project, right? This is where Git came from. Okay. So any other question, anything else I can help you with? Any other problem? Like we are celebrating International Developer Career Day. So anything I can help you with your career today, feel free to ping me. And you can look at the slide. jfeatures.com is the website I started, and then I help professional Java developers to learn language features. So I'm posting new language features. I tweet about them, right? So you can follow me on Twitter, or you can go to jfeatures.com and subscribe there. You get a free ebook that helps you to learn, that helps you to understand, right? How do you get the best Java jobs? Okay. And in best Java jobs, open source contribution is definitely a very important part. So you see some content over there for open source contributions as well. So we have 5 more minutes. Feel free to ask any question. If not now, then feel free to reach out to me. This is my email ID, vipin@gfeatures.com. You can ask questions or email, Twitter, anything you want. So it's not only about open source contributions. You can ask questions, anything you can ask, like uh maybe something related to your work. But yeah, career. We are talking about career. Hey, I'm glad that it helped you. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback. And Tahir, I still remember your question about Spring. Yes, that's an amazing framework, right? I think everybody is using that. So yeah, it does like everything. Like it has JDBC, it has something for REST, it has for web. Oh, thanks, Bruno. Thanks for the question. Uh, how odd it was for you to get started. Yeah. So I think this is definitely a great question, because some of you have asked question like, how do I start as a beginner? Even I was in that situation. I was facing problems, right? So uh, that's where first thing is Bruno helped me there. Bruno helped me there to understand the same thing I'm explaining you, right? I tried to search the project. Okay, yes, this is the project I like, and then okay, I tried to see, okay, what are the things I can contribute, start contributing on. Then Then I was thinking, as a beginner, I had in mind, okay, there's something I should fix in code. Maybe there's something, some bug which everybody is facing, and then I should be fixing that. I was trying to find that bug in OpenJDK Jira, but then it was not easy. It was difficult, right? Not everything is. Yes, definitely there will be some recordings. Yes, you will get that. Yeah. So it was not easy. I was I was like facing problems. I was thinking, oh, how do I start? I'm not getting a start. Then that's where Bruno helped me to understand, okay, I can start with something related to test. I can start with something related to documentation. And that's where I started. That's where I came to know, okay, yes, at least, I need to set up a project. Then I did sub R&D. I did set up my project. Then I started fixing some documentation problems. Then I started fixing some test problems, and that's where I got some of my patches accepted, and that motivated me, and that's where I started my open source contribution journey. So yeah, it is difficult in the beginning, but yes, you can do it. This is easy. That's where I try to help you. That's where I try to show you demo how easy it is. How do you find the problem? The next question I see, yeah, definitely you can LinkedIn. For my LinkedIn, you can go to my profile, in the same International Developer Career Day profile, and you will see a LinkedIn link over there. I was reading a question. Yes, it is. I hope I can contribute to open source and its community. Yes, definitely. It's amazing. Yes. So while we are talking, I'll just take a look at time. So yeah, we are there are some other sessions also about to get started. If you want to take a look at that, if you want to stay, definitely I'm here for you. I'll try to help you. I'll try to answer all of your questions. Then I'll leave. So you can uh, let me share the LinkedIn link right now. This is my LinkedIn link, but I would suggest and take a look at my site, and you will find everything over there. This is inside jfeatures.com. You will see my LinkedIn, GitHub, everything, all kind of accounts. And you can see on my screen, Vipin at the gfeatures.com is my email ID, Twitter. I'm available on Twitter. So you can reach out to me via any means. Yeah, so the last question I see is not question. I'm glad you are excited, Tahi, to start your open source contribution. Yes, you can start it, and it is easy. You just need to find out what project you can contribute on, find the project, and that should be also on basis of what can motivate you, right? What can motivate you? Maybe something related to some library, like somebody talked about Spring. Maybe somebody is working in Kubernetes, right? So think about what is motivating you and then choose a project. Okay. And then don't think, there's something difficult maybe you cannot do. There's nothing difficult. or it's everything code at the end, right? You can start with something small and then you can start developing a feature as well, big feature as well. Well, there's no question. I can talk about jfeatures.com. So jfeatures.com, you can take a look at this is a site. Do you post content mainly on LinkedIn on jfeatures? So I post my content mainly I on Twitter, okay, and also you can sign up on jfeatures.com, and that's where you get an email as well. Whenever I post something, I send an email, okay. And if you go to jfeatures.com, it has an ebook for 5 steps to best Java jobs. Right? You get the ebook, that's free ebook. And once you get the ebook, I have your contact. I send you uh, the new language features I post about. Like recently, I posted a feature on Java records, Java 14 feature, Java records, and then before that, I posted a feature about null pointer exceptions. This is again a very good feature in JDK 14. Okay, there are some new features I'm going to post, like text block is one feature I'm working on right now. I'll post that very soon. And also, like we talked about OpenJDK project. So there is a post on OpenJDK contribution. How do you start contribution in OpenJDK? For that as well, there is a post. So yes, if you are excited to contribute in OpenJDK, yes, you can do that as well. So I have given example of the problems I faced. How did I set up my workspace and all? There are some links you can go to in resources section, some videos where people help to get started with OpenJDK contribution, especially one of the video from Bruno and David Buck. That was helpful, very helpful to start with. So to answer your question, yes, I generally don't post on LinkedIn. I post on Twitter, and also I post on dev.io. The same content I post there. So I give you my example where I was stuck, how it was, how hard it was for me, like to get started. So I thought it was hard, but now when I think about it, it was not hard. It, it's just I didn't know how to start that, right? What kind of what kind of issues I should start fixing. Now once I know, it is not hard, right? So that's where I can help you. You can ask questions, and if you feel something is hard, I can help you to understand no, it is not, and you can get started with that easily. Open source projects are available in all the common languages like C, C++. For everything you find a project. Even if I talk about Java, it has C, C++ component, it has Java components, right? If you talk about Linux kernel, it has C components, right? There are a lot of open source projects on front end as well, JS frameworks. So if you have expertise in JavaScript, you can start contribution there. It's not about expertise, I would say it's about if you want to learn that, then also start contributing there, right? These sessions, the videos will be shared, these slides will be shared. I'll try to post these slides on jfeatures.com as well. Any other questions I can help you with? Anything which is stopping you in your career? You think something blocking? And so it's kind of a question I'm going to ask you now because you're not asking question. What is what is the main thing that is main thing blocking you in your career? What is important thing you are missing right now? What is blocking you in your career? So now it was my turn. I asked a question. I'm expecting an answer. What is blocking you in your career? What is important thing? What is stopping you in your career? Or if it is going great, it's no problem. Very good. Fantastic. I just started coding 6 months ago and trying to find my first coding job. So it's the experience that is main roadblock. I agree, I completely agree with you. I see a lot of cases like this, because starting in software industry it becomes challenging sometimes, right? Trying to find your first coding job. So I think in this case I would say open source contribution is one of the important things for you, which can help you start with something, because the problem when somebody starts is everybody's asking for an experience, right? Everybody's looking for an experienced person. That's where it becomes difficult when you start something, right? So in that case I would say start with something open source, right? Take a look at some open source project, start coding in that, right? Choose a language. Okay, you are familiar with Java, you started coding, so definitely you must have started in some language, Java, C, and then on basis of that language choose a project, open source project, start contributing in that, right? That's where you are going to learn. That's where you will get an expertise, experience, and you can go to an employer and you can say, yes, I have 1 year of experience, I have 2 month or 3 month or 6 month of experience, and you can go into interviews, you can appear for interviews, and you can get a job. But yeah, I know this is a common problem. People ask me on LinkedIn, a lot of people ask me this question, and people are starting their career and they don't have experience. Like your case, you just started coding, right? So in this case, this it becomes a roadblock sometimes, but yes, it should not be. There are ways to solve this problem. So one way is you start an open source contribution. So basically, you need to start coding. You need to overall the aim for you aim should be start coding, start working, start getting experience. I'm not saying only open source contribution can give you that. Maybe there's something else. Maybe there's some opportunity. Maybe somebody can hire you as an intern. Maybe they can give you that experience. But you need to start coding. You need to start taking an experience so that after a few months, when you go to somebody, you can say, yes, I have this much of experience, and that's where I'm coming for an interview, right? Because if you take a look at software industry, there are a lot of jobs, right? Lot of jobs. People are looking for good developers. Everybody's looking for developer, good developer, right? But yeah, the important thing is they are looking for experienced developer. So for Beginners, it becomes problem sometimes. Not everyone is looking for experience, but yes, this is a common problem I have seen with beginners. So I hope that answers your question. Feel free to ask if there's any other question you have. Okay, I'm glad it helped. Thanks for your feedback. So there are other sessions in progress if you want to join. Well, I'm here to help you. And if there's any question, also asking question, right? While we have some time, asking question is also an important thing, I would say, when you're starting your career. Okay, I'm going to check out other sessions. Yes, definitely. Go ahead. Thanks for your time. So yeah, when you are starting your career, ask questions. Don't feel shy to start ask a question. Maybe when you are taking a look at some open source project with some issue, you want to ask, can I start contribution in that, right? So ask questions. Like there was a question somebody posted, if someone is working on some issue already or not, how do they come to know? So ask questions, right? Uh, don't shy, don't feel shy, ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. People are there to help you because they need your help, right? In open source projects, they clearly have some labels like, okay, this is a beginner issue, help wanted kind of labels, because they need help, right? And you are to help them. Okay, so feel free to ask questions. They are going to respond. They are going to help you to set up your project. They are going to help you to start contribution. Maybe if you don't know some language, something, maybe what you did is not right, then they are going to explain, okay, this is not right. So don't feel shy. Start asking questions. So this is one of the important thing for a software developer. Ask questions. So while you are here, I can share one link because we talked about OpenJDK contributions. Let me share a link on that. How do you start contribution in OpenJDK? So this is where you can understand how do you set up your project, how do you start fixing issues, and then how do you send patches. Okay. And people are really helpful over there. I got a lot of help. Anything else? Anything else I can help you with? Okay, I'll put myself on mute. If there's any question you can ask. Okay, thanks for feedback. Thanks, Ram. This is an amazing event for developer career. There are a lot of amazing speakers, my favorite speakers. So now there's no question. I think we can leave this room. We can go for go to other sessions. You can go to networking. You can go to expo. Take a look at amazing content over there. Lot of good ebooks. Thank you. Bye.